Hello bookworms! Today we're going to be doing a February book haul, and I'm just going to say that it's been a rough year so far. I've got a lot to share, so I'm just gonna get things started. I'm really excited about all of the books that I have to share in this video. Actually, some of them that I got are just dust jackets, and I did have a lot of pre-orders come in, so I think we'll get started with special editions. First up, we have the Broken Binding edition of Blood Over Bright Haven. I'm really excited to read this one. It's like her Dark Academia book, and having loved Sword of Kaigen so much, I have no doubt that this is gonna be a new favorite for me too. It has really beautiful sprayed edges, and this is the backing and the spine. This is below the dust jacket, and then the end papers are also so gorgeous. And it is also signed by M.L. Wang. Next up, I have my first special editions from Inkstone Books. So I have the Sword Defiant and the Sword Unbound, both by Gareth Hanrahan. I do like that they come with these protective jackets, which is nice. It does make them kind of shiny on camera, but I do like that they are well protected. They both have sprayed edges. These are the backings of them. These were only released in paperback from Orbit, so it is nice to have a hardcover option. This one has a sword underneath, and it is signed by the author. I did order this one off of Penguin Books because they didn't have it in stock online anymore, but I was able to pick up the second book from the Inkstone website. Again, signed, a sword, but more fire. Then we have the Broken Binding press edition of The Way of Edan by Philip Chase, and this might be one of the most beautiful books that they've ever done. I think that the artwork on this cover is just so gorgeous. Like, it reminds me kind of like Lord of the Rings, and I just want to be like sitting near this water with them. It also has gold gilded edges. This is the backing. Again, really pretty, and it just like the artwork connects all the way around, which is so nice. It has such a beautiful map. I love the cover, and like the material is so nice. And it is also signed by Philip Chase, and I've been really looking forward to reading this series. I very much like Philip's YouTube channel. There are also like illustrations throughout. It's just so beautiful. Can't wait to read this. Next up, we have the first three Malazan books. These are the Broken Binding editions. They are really heavy, but I do want to show you the sprayed edges together because I think that looks really cool. First up is Gardens of the Moon. I think the artwork on these is just so amazing, like so cool. It's the end paper. The naked hardcover is so gorgeous. This is the other end paper, and these are also signed by Steven Erikson. Then we have book 2, Dead House Gates, which has some of my favorite art in the interior, which I will definitely be showing you. So this is one end paper. That's amazing. But this is I think my favorite art piece in any of the three books. And again, also signed. So I think all three books are signed, which is pretty nice. Sometimes they'll only do the first book. And then finally, Memories of Ice, which is book 3 in the series. And paper number 1, the naked hardcover, amazing. Really, really love that. And the other end paper. This one is pretty big. This is gonna take me forever to read. How many pages is this? Let's see. Ooh, gosh. 1178 pages. So if I read this, this will definitely kick some books off of my longest books I've ever read list, which will be really exciting. Then we have the Owl Crate special edition of Aragon by Christopher Paolini. I do think that this is really beautiful. They did do a really good job with this one. I like the artwork a lot. However, the Broken Binding editions that were just revealed are so amazing that I think I am probably going to give this one to my brother, who is a huge Aragon fan, and I will probably get myself the Broken Binding editions. These are the end papers. And of course, we've got a dragon on the sprayed edge. Then I have the Broken Binding edition of The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is one that I was able to find on eBay for not the cheapest, unfortunately, but I am really excited to read this. And then I was able to get second access to the next book in the series, A Drop of Corruption. Oh, and I love the sprayed pages. I'm really, really looking forward to reading this one. Like, a fantasy but murder mystery is so up my alley. Then, as part of my Valentine's Day gift, Andrew got me this special edition of Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. He knows how much I love Game of Thrones, so I'm really excited to have this one in my possession. Unfortunately, I think the next two books are really hard to get now. I do think that this is pretty, like, like virtually the same thing as the US illustrated editions that I have back there, but I do obviously like the black cover and the foiling, and like all Game of Thrones. I love it. So I'm really excited to have this for my collection. Next up, I almost feel like I was tricked into this, but I'm totally okay with it. So I got the Folio Society edition of the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. I got an email from Folio Society that was like, we have less than 20 of these in stock. And I was like, oh my God, it's now or never. So I just did it. They come in this beautiful, beautiful slipcase that says the Farseer trilogy. These are all illustrated too, which is really nice. The first book is Assassin's Apprentice. They're all like cloth bound, which is really nice. A nice map. And then like here's an illustration of the Fool, who is my favorite character. Book 2 in the series and my favorite Robin Hobb book to date is Royal Assassin. I've got Night Eyes on the cover. And then we have book 3, Assassin's Quest, which again, just really, these are stunningly beautiful books. Then also from Folio Society, I got their new special edition of Fire and Blood. So it actually matches the Game of Thrones editions that they've done. I have the first 2 so far. I have to get the next couple, but I've been slowly getting them because these are definitely an investment. But they're so pretty. Really love that. Again, like with the cloth bound, they're just like such beautiful books. Love the end papers. Let's see if I could find my favorite illustration. This is my favorite illustration in here. I'm just gonna continue with Game of Thrones. I did get The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which is a prequel to Game of Thrones. It's the Dunk and Egg book, and there is a show that is being made based on this, so I definitely want to read this before that comes out. I also got The Rise of the Dragon, which is an illustrated history of the Targaryen dynasty, volume 1. This is just like very cool. I don't want to, ooh, look at that. I don't want to look too much at this because I want to wait until I read Fire and Blood to delve further into this world. And same thing goes for this one, The World of Ice and Fire, which is an untold history of Westeros. So I'm really excited to read like a history of one of my favorite fantasy worlds. And then I also got The Ice Dragon, which is a short story, like novella, that I believe is like a tale that is told within the world of Westeros to children. I actually read this like a really long time ago and I don't remember pretty much like anything about it, so I do want to reread it. Yeah, and I thought this was a cute cover. And then actually, since I also talked about Robin Hobb, I got a volume 1 and volume 2 of the comic adaptation of Assassin's Apprentice, so I thought this would be pretty fun to revisit. These are really nice like hardcover editions. They are adapted by Jody Hauser, and yeah, very much looking forward to reading these. Then I got Death's End by Cixin Liu. This is the third and final book in the Three Body Problem trilogy, and I read all 3 of these in January, so I've completed the series, which is so exciting. But this was part of the science fiction sub, and I'm so glad that I have this. It's so pretty. The series was so good. I made like a really long video about it if you're interested in learning more about the series. Here is our other end paper. Then I have Death of the Author by Nnedi Okorafor. This is the first book that is kicking off the Starbright book box subscription. It's the sci-fi box that's being offered by Illumicrate. It's quarterly, so there will be 4 per year, and this is the first title that they chose, which I was really excited about because I wanted to read this. I'm also really excited about the next one. I think the next one is Overgrowth by Mira Grant, but I think this is really beautiful. I love the cover. It has some red sprayed pages with detailing, and then these are end papers. Don't know too much about the premise of this, but I do believe that it involves like AI. I think this is the book within this book. So I think that's really clever that they made the hardcover like the book that is in this book. And this is our other end paper. Then I have Dragonsteel Prime by Brandon Sanderson. I think that this was like his first novel that he ever wrote that was not published, so it's not like the best of his works or anything, but I do want to read everything. So I was pretty excited. This was part of the Words of Radiance Kickstarter. So my Words of Radiance leather bounds also finally arrived. Where do I have them? They're on the shelf already behind me. They're over there. I didn't take them out for this video, and I feel like everyone has seen them like numerous times, so I am just gonna leave them there, but they did arrive this month. Then I have Games Untold by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the next book in the Inheritance Games series. I love how these just look like old like leather bound books. I think that they're really pretty. This is the end paper, and then I love Below the Dust Jacket. The foiling on these are like next level. So gorgeous. Other end paper. These are just really fun. Then I have the February adult book of the month for Fairyloot. This one is The Scorpion and the Night Blossom by Emily Wenzel. I think they did a really lovely job with this edition. I love the colors, and I really love the naked hardcover, which I will show you right now. Oh my gosh, and the end paper. papers. The end papers are awesome. End paper, it has foiling. Again, like I just love foiling. And this is the other end paper, which is amazing. And then below the dust jacket is so cool. I really love the like chandeliers and like the moon with these purple flowers. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And there's also reverse dust jacket art. Then I have the Waterstones exclusive edition of A Language of Dragons by SF Williamson. This just sounded really fun. Like it sounds like more like cozy fantasy, kind of whimsical, kind of historical, where there's just like touches of magic. I really like the sprayed pages on this one. This is the backing, and it's definitely like the same artist who did the Samantha Shannon covers for like Priory and Amina Al-Sarafi, and I love how foiled the naked hardcover is. So cool. This is the end paper. This is the other side. And then I also have the Fairy Loot edition of Temptation of Magic by Megan Scott. I really like how this one also kind of looks like an old leather-bound book, especially the spine is so nice. It just looks like weathered and beautiful. The end papers have foiling and a bookshelf, which is pretty nice. This one I was looking up and it was saying that it's like very like dark academia, which I was like really like in the mood for at the moment. So that's why I picked this one up. This is the other side. There's also reverse dust jacket art here. Then I have the Bookish Signs and More exclusive edition of The Forest King's Daughter by Ellie Blake. I really enjoyed Ellie Blake's Frostblood series, and it's been a long time since she's written anything, so I was really excited to pick this next book up, especially since it sounds so good and it has a really lovely map, and it also came with like a signed book plate, so I'll have to stick that in there. And the tops have like gold sprayed pages. Then I got the new edition of Swordheart by T. Kingfisher. This is one that is definitely on my immediate TBR. I really love this color that they chose for the pages, and I really, really, really love this new cover. I think it is so, so beautiful. And then this is the backing. Then we also have a sword, and then I also really like the end papers. Then I have the Waterstones exclusive edition of Cruel as the Light by Sophie Clark. I feel like this one got a lot of like really early buzz, and it actually was also released a lot earlier in the UK. This one came out in January in the UK, but it's not coming out in the US until May, I want to say. Lovely map. I love when they do like a monochrome map. And this is below the dust jacket. And I believe this is about like a demon and a demon hunter. So yeah, I'm really hoping that I love this one. Then my TJ Klune set came from Illumicrate. So we have In the Lives of Puppets and Somewhere Beyond the Sea. They have really pretty sprayed pages. These are the backings. I'm really excited that I can finally read Somewhere Beyond the Sea. And I think that my friend Roger will also be really excited that I can finally read this one now, because he has been raving about this book, and both of us really love House in the Cerulean Sea, so I'm excited to read the sequel. Actually, the end papers are really pretty on this one. Very simple, but very like woodsy. Haven't read this one. I think I just have to read these two. No, I still have to read the Green Creek series. Then I got Breath of the Dragon by Fonda Lee and Shannon Lee, which is a new YA fantasy series. Really excited to read this one. Very like martial arts inspired. Has red sprayed pages on the initial print run, which is very nice. And then this is Below the Dust Jacket. And Shannon Lee is Bruce Lee's daughter, for those who don't know, and Fonda Lee is the author of one of my favorite series of all time, The Greenbone Saga. Then I have this really cool Arcturus edition of Paradise Lost by John Milton. This is a classic book. I just think that this is such a beautiful addition to my collection, which is why I picked it up. I did also get the edition that they did of Dante's Inferno, which is blue, and I could have sworn it was over here for my book haul, but I do not see it. I don't know how I could have lost a book. I don't know, so we're just gonna keep moving. I'll find, if I don't find it, I mean, I'm not gonna find it because I would see it. It's a huge book, so maybe it'll just be in my next book haul. But I did get the new paperback editions of Anne Rice's Witching Hour trilogy. These were re-released in the UK with new covers from Del Rey. So first we have The Witching Hour, which is like nice and chunky, and I'm really looking forward to reading some like beautiful and like witchy books as we get a little further into this year. So first was The Witching Hour, then book 2 is Lasher, which again, very long, very thick. Very excited to dive into this. The last book is Taltos, and I shared these new covers in one of my news videos, so I influenced myself. Okay, then you are about to see a theme here. So kicking things off, I got a paperback edition of A Dowry in Blood by S.T. Gibson. I decided that I really want to annotate a favorite book of mine in March, and like I think I might want to make it a goal to, like, if I enjoy doing it, to reread and annotate a favorite book. Like maybe I'll do one a month or maybe one every 2 months. I don't know how long it's going to take me. So I decided to kick things off with A Dowry in Blood because I've been having like a major vampire moment, which you'll see by these next books. So first I have Now Comes the Mist by Julie C. Dow. This one I talked about last year because I was really excited about it getting released, and I do believe that there is a sequel coming, so I want to read this one before it comes out. But this one follows Lucy and Vlad, and I'm really looking forward to picking this up. Julie C. Dow's writing is like amazing. Very excited to read more from her. Then I got Court of the Vampire Queen by Katie Robert. I'm not really sure how I'm going to feel about this one, but I was definitely just like taken with the design of this book. I do think it's really pretty. I'm not sure how it's gonna go. I mean, I'm hopeful that I'm gonna like it, just not sure. I love the rose end papers and I really love the naked hardcover. And there actually is some reverse dust jacket art as well. I don't think I've ever read a Katie Robert book yet, so this will be my first one. Then I picked up A Cruel Thirst by Angela Montoya, another vampire book that I'm very much looking forward to reading and has a really beautiful cover. It actually is blurbed by Isabel Canas also, who wrote Vampires of El Norte, which is another vampire book that I would really like to read soon. I think I'm gonna be reading a lot of vampire fiction this year. It's just my mood. And then I also got this really beautiful edition of Dracula. It has cool crosses on the spine, and then it has a nice little coffin on the back there, and it's like red cloth bound, just really pretty. Okay, so the next thing that I have to show is actually like not new books, but I got new dust jackets for the Twilight series. So I finally like put them on my books. I actually got them before I moved. I want to say the shop is Cat A Video, but I will look it up for sure and like put it on the screen so that you know in case you want to get them too. But it's actually the 20th anniversary of Twilight this year, which is absolutely crazy. But I did get these because they're so cool. They look like vintage like VHS tapes essentially. So let's go through them. So first of all, I'll just show you like as a set. These are the spines, so it looks like VHS tapes, which is so cool. But now I'll show you like the rest of the cover art. So here is book 1, Twilight, and it does use like the actors in the film, which I think is fun. There's people on like the front and the back, which is nice. And I do like that the spine also includes like the cover. Then we've got book 2, New Moon, which definitely has like a horror feel to it. Then we have book 3, Eclipse. Book 4, Breaking Dawn, and my favorite, I love the back of this one. I just think that's like iconic. Finally, Midnight Sun, which I've actually never read Midnight Sun, so I guess I should do that maybe this year. Then the publisher was kind enough to send me the new bind up of the Dragonlance Chronicles by Tracy Hickman and Margaret Weiss. So this includes 3 books in the trilogy. It includes Dragons of Autumn Twilight, Dragons of Winter Night, and Dragons of Spring Dawning, all in one nice, convenient, and beautiful looking tome. These were just mass market paperbacks before, so I'm really glad to have like this nice and more special looking edition for my shelf. Then Random House was also kind enough, oh that goes this way, was also kind enough to send me a Vox Machina book, which I'm really excited about, and there's also some goodies in here from the Critical Role shop. So Vox Machina is campaign 1. I'm gonna unbox it here on camera. Feels like vintage booktube days doing like an unboxing. The main event obviously is the book, which is Vox Machina Stories Untold. So this is like a collection of short stories that are all set around Vox Machina and follow like different characters within that campaign. And there are stories from a ton of authors, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. We've got stories from Jess Barber, Martin Cahill, Rebecca Coffindaffer. Oh, Abria wrote a story, that's exciting. Sam Maggs, Sarah Glenn Marsh, Rory Power, Nabetta San, Izzy Wasserstein, and Kendra Wells. Oh, and it also has a foreword by Liam O'Brien, who plays Vax in the campaign. So very excited about that. This is a really pretty cover too. Ooh, and the end papers are really nice. Andrew and I both are looking forward to reading this. And then also in here, we've got some vinyl decals for Vox Machina. We've got a dice set. Let's see whose dice set we have. No wonder I didn't recognize it. These ones are listed as GM, so these would be like Matt's dice for the game. So that's fun. They're navy blue, which is really nice. They're very like celestial. Then we have a pin with the Vox Machina crest on it. So yeah, thank you so much to Random House for sending me that free copy. I'm really looking forward to reading this book. Just realized that I forgot to show this, which is another Jennifer Lynn Barnes book in the world of the Inheritance games. This one is called The Grandest Game. I think this was the first book in the second duology, and the end papers, and then just below the dust jacket is really what gets me on these. Sprayed pages and the other. Then I got a Taylor Swift book called Stars Around My Scars, which is an annotated poetry book about Taylor Swift's lyrics. And I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. And then I have a bunch of romance and romance special editions to share. So kicking things off, I have Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. This is the Afterlight edition. I love how the pages look like water. As you might know, what was the original title for this book. I did already read this one, and it was not my favorite of Ali Hazelwood's books, but I did still enjoy it, and I am excited to have this for my little collection that I have going. And then this is the other end paper. Then I have First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. This is, again, an Afterlight edition, so this was their February book of the month, and I was so excited when I realized that they were going to be doing this title because I love B.K. Borison so much. The sprayed edges on this one are so cute, but what really sells this for me is the naked hardcover. I just think this is so pretty, and I really, really love the color palette that they chose. Like the pink and orange is just so, so pretty. And then we've got end papers and the other side. I also already read this book, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm so excited for the next book in this series. Then my pre-order came in for the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy. These are also Afterlight exclusive editions. They look really nice together, and I really like that the lettering that they chose looks like that athletic, like varsity kind of font that you would see on like a jacket. These are not in order. So first up we have The Deal. Oh, you know what? Why don't I just show you? The sprayed pages are all like pretty similar, but they have the different jersey numbers for each of the guys on the hockey team. Each of the hardcovers has like a text conversation, which is really fun. Then we have The Mistake. I might be showing these out of order, so I do apologize if that is the case. Then we have The Score, The Goal, and finally The Legacy, which has short stories from each of the characters in the original quartet. Then I am so excited about these, but my additions came from Fairy Loot for the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver. I love the pastel spines on these. They're so incredibly beautiful. Each of these covers is just like insanely gorgeous. So first up we have Flawless. Oh, let's show you the sprayed pages all at once. And then the sprayed pages, all of them. Amazing. I love all the flowers. So first up we have Flawless, and then also the naked hardcovers on these are amazing. And the end papers are simple but very pretty. Then we have Reckless. There's our naked hardcover. Then we have Heartless. Naked hardcover for this one. Then we have Powerless. I love this one. I want to like go to this mountain. And lastly we have Hopeless, which looks so nice and springy. And again, just really, really lovely. I finished reading Gold Rush Ranch, so this is my next romance series that I will be dipping my toes into. Then I got the Barnes & Noble exclusive paperback edition of Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Don't really read much YA contemporary anymore, but I loved this book. I felt like it was just so good, and it was so wholesome, so fun, and I really related to the main character. I really wanted to add this to my collection. Then Target was having like a paperback sale, so I got these 3 Catherine Coles books, which are in the Sparrow Falls series. So first up we have Fragile Sanctuary, and this one has like teal sprayed pages. Then we have Broken Harbor, which has purple pages, and we have Delicate Escape, which has like coral pages. And there is a 4th book that I have pre-ordered, and I'm very excited to start reading Catherine Coles this year as well. Then I got the Walmart special edition of First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. This is definitely one of my favorite books that I've read this year, so I was really excited to grab this one. I love that the title is like purple foiling, and I just think that like the purple colorway is really pretty, and I'm very excited to have this one on my shelf. And then lastly, I got the Barnes & Noble edition of Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh, which is the first book in the Boys of Toman series. People seem to be, it has like rainbow foiling on the spine, which is very cool. People are like obsessed with this series, so I'm going to give it a go and see how I feel about it. That is everything that I have to share today. That was a lot of books, so thanks for sticking with me, and I'm really looking forward to reading a lot of these like throughout the year. I know that there are not many special edition sales for books in March, which is a very good thing because I feel like I already got like too much for the year and it's only been 2 months, which is like crazy. It's just like you can't predict when pre-orders are coming in, so sometimes it just happens. And then sometimes you just have like a bad day and you need to go to Barnes & Noble, and that's what happened with a lot of those vampire books. Anyway, that's my February book haul, and I will see you guys soon in a new video. Bye!